Lee, no, Lee. Lee, no, yes,
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. For any of you who are outside right now, it's boiling hot. Stay inside, drink fluids, stay cool because
It's a hot one today.
I'm outside. I'm going to kind of show you guys why I do gardening. I enjoy it. You can see all the plants. This is our patio area. We have a ton of different style plants. We got plants actually came from Hawaii that we brought back with us, and we planted here. I do landscaping. I teach it. So any of the properties that you see and all the bushes here are trimmed and maintained by me and a crew. Right now, me, because the crews are sitting at home relaxing. We're going to cover something on planting plants inside of small planters, and I want to show you, I did one about a year ago and I did it wrong. And I want to show you the inside of it so you can see it. Plants need to drain, and I accidentally didn't do something correct, so this plant is getting too much water and it won't drain. So I'm going to show you the correct way to do it so you don't make a mistake like I do, and this one may not make it for me. So the first thing I do is I let someone pick the pot, or I'll pick a pot. It has to have a hole in it so it can drain, and then I put rock in the bottom of it. That lets the water drain out of the soil. I always use my own mix of soil. So my soil comes with garden soil and something called perlite, and it's this white stuff here, and this absorbs moisture. And I mix up my soil, just like you do when you're cooking. You mix your ingredients. Well, that's what I'm doing now. I'm mixing my ingredients.
No.
And this is our little plant we're going to plant. This was cut off of one of our other house plants. It's already rooted. It's ready to go. It's been sitting in water for a few weeks. I'll take my fancy little dirt mix. I'm going to pour it in. Put a little in. I'm going to take my pretty little ivy plant here. I'm going to drop it in. And then I'm going to fill up the rest of it on top with soil.
There you go. Okay.
You always want to make sure that your soil and your plants get to drain out. Because if they sit in water, they won't make it too long. They don't like them to be sitting in water unless they are an official water plant. But none of my plants are water plants here. I've packed it all down. Nice. Good. I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to give it a little bit of water. Not a lot, just a little. And let it absorb in. Okay? So that's the first plant that I've done for the house. That's going to be for my wife to make her happy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one that I messed up on, because I did it. My fault. I did it wrong. I'm going to pour the old soil out. I'm going to replant it back into a pot. Yep. So this pot does have holes in it, but because I didn't put any rock in the bottom, it wouldn't drain out. So again, my big mistake. Gotta follow the directions. And I knew better, but I tried to cut corners. So, got the pot, got its drain holes in it. I have a big bag of rock. I keep at the house here.
So that one does have holes in the bottom?
Yeah, it has holes in the bottom, it has a drain plate and everything.
Uh-huh.
But the rock will help to separate, keep the hole from plugging.
Okay, cool.
So again, I'm gonna use my same soil mix because I really like this mix. It's a combination of garden soil and Fairlight, or Perlite, sorry, it's the white fluffy stuff. It absorbs water. I'm also gonna add a little bit of a cactus potting mix. This one helps to drain the water out also. It doesn't let it sit too long. The plant that we're gonna put in here is called a succulent, and they don't need much water. Matter of fact, you water them once every week to 2 weeks, just a little bit. You don't need to water them every day or anything like that. Go get my plant. This plant is very unhappy right now. And we're going to make it extremely happy. Going to get nice, fresh, dry soil. It won't be soaked like it has been. It won't be drenched. The odd thing about a succulent is when you plant them, you don't water them for the first few days. You just let them grow in the ground. You don't water it. Wait a few days to give them water.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone always, over the years, you know, you always water your plants as soon as you plant them. Well, succulents don't. They want to go in dry, and those root themselves. And then I just top off with that nice little mix I make up. I'll add a little bit more. Now this plant here, I'm going to leave it alone. I'll wait a couple days and then I'll give it some water. Not a lot, because it doesn't need it. That's been the problem with it. I didn't have the drain done right, so I overwatered it, and it literally wasn't happy with it. This is that same plant. When it's happy, it gets pretty flowers all over it, and it grows and grows. So now you can see what a happy one looks like, and then you can see what the unhappy one looks like. Okay? I make mistakes too, but I have to learn. I won't put it back where it came from. You guys like fruit trees? Like mandarins and oranges and things like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to bring one in.
Delicious. That sounds good right now. Oh, that thing's huge.
This is a dwarf mandarin tree. And it's been in a pot because of where I live, I can't put it in the ground. But if you look down inside, it needs a lot more soil. And I usually have to add soil to this one every 2 years.
Mom.
So I'm gonna do the scariest thing. So I'm gonna take it out. And if you look real close, you can see how I've been adding soil to it over the years. The roots are starting to show up on the sides, and it tells me that it's time to add more soil to it. You'll notice maybe hard to see, but these little, like, they almost look like legs going down in the dirt. You want to make sure that you don't put dirt over that. So that's why I took it out of the pot. Now add more dirt. And rock. And it's really heavy because I just watered Sunday. Okay, so now you can see how high it is in the pot. It's way up. It was way low before. This will let those roots go back down and spread out, and the plants will get bigger. Now it should go to fruit. It should have seen some buds this year, but I may not, because I waited on this just to do this. I'll make sure I get dirt all around the sides and not by the main part of the tree.
I would have covered that.
This actually came from a customer of mine about 20 years ago. So it's been fruiting almost 20 straight years. It gives me fruit. But it does fruit up every other year sometimes. It'll take a season off because of me trimming it or the weather, and it freezes a little bit. I don't get it covered up. And that is a mandarin orange tree. It's a dwarf. So it'll only get 3 to 4 feet high, but it only gives you about 10 fruit every year. And they're very sweet. Okay. Anything else that you guys would like to know about planting? Always ask me. I will always come and help someone who wants to plant stuff. I've been doing it a couple years now. So, anybody have any questions?
Can you help Chris? Because she keeps killing her plants.
One thing you have to look at is you look at your thumb. If your thumb looks green or dirty, you're going to be a good plant grower. If it doesn't look green or dirty, plants don't usually like you.
What if you have gloves?
Gloves? In planting? No, we want to touch the soil. We want to get dirty. This is the one time we're allowed to.
Right?
We're supposed to be dirty when we do this.
What's up?
What is your favorite thing to plant?
My favorite thing to plant would be, I love roses. I love to grow roses because when I do roses, I know that I can always cut them off and take them in the house and put them in a vase and make my wife happy. That's why I like roses. I will plant.
Why?
I'll plant any plant there is. The hibiscus is another plant that I have here. Unfortunately, I don't think any of them are blooming. And they're not. They're not in bloom right now. They have the most gorgeous, it's a Hawaiian flower. It's the one that you'll see the ladies wear in their hair when they go to Hawaii. Most beautiful flower in the world. I've got a couple of them. I'm restarting one, and this one just isn't bloomed today because I haven't got hot enough today. I enjoy planting fruits, vegetables. I mean, if I had a garden here that I could put vegetables in, I would. Because nothing more, you enjoy your own fruit and vegetables. That's why I do it. And I love to look at plants.
What do you plant?
This is one that came from Hawaii. It was a stick, a 3-inch stick when we got it in Hawaii. And they have grown to be 4 feet now. And they'll probably, if I put it in the ground, it can get up to 10 feet tall. And they put out a beautiful little flower once every year to year and a half. They don't always flower.
That's
This is another
wild.
one that we
That's so
brought.
cool.
This came from Hawaii also. It's supposed to produce a flower. I have not yet to get it to produce it. And it's just, they're real interesting looking when you get them to grow and produce. I have a ton of different succulents that my wife loves because she doesn't like to work on her plants, so she throws them to me to take care of. But they're low maintenance. Succulents, you just put them in a pot, give them water once a week, or once every other week, and they're happy. This one here
I'll
looks like,
say a succulent's the only plant I haven't killed.
well, then stick with them. Stay with them. You can look at this one. It looks like toes on your feet.
Like,
It's really, and that's actually one of the nicknames for it. I just have never, I don't know the fancy names. I don't pay that much attention to all that.
Do you have any other fruit trees?
I don't, because this is a rental property I'm at right now, so I can't plant a bunch of trees. Otherwise, I would. I've had oranges. I grew up on a piece of land. We had a lot of fruit and vegetables, so that's where I kind of learned it. We've had peaches. I've had pear trees. I've had apple trees. We had raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, boysenberries on that property. So we've gone through a lot of different things over the years. And it's honestly, it's all trial and error for us. For me and my family, it was all trial and error. You know, you make mistakes, you do it again next year, and you learn. Anybody have any questions on how to do it?
What's your question, Frankie?
What's up, Frankie?
Well, on the plants in the bow.
It's the one that he just replanted. The one that was not draining the water out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
What was
Because
it?
it was in the wrong. He had planted it incorrectly. So he
Yeah, I forgot to put rock on the bottom.
So he replanted it.
So I've replanted it, and I'm hoping it'll turn around in a week or so and look real pretty. And then I get my wife to smile.
And those like the shade, huh?
They actually, I put them in the sun. Right now they're in the shade, but they usually get full sun most of the day.
Okay.
I'll put it back on its little shelf, and it should be fine. And the fruit tree definitely needs sunlight, lots and lots of sunlight. And this will go back outside where I can get all day sunlight. Now, I'm going to show you one of the little things we made, something you can do with plants. You don't have to put a plant inside of a pot.
Divya wants to know where you get your plants.
I get them everywhere. I've gotten some from friends, and then I go to the hardware stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Orchard Supply, True Value Hardware. I just look when I'm shopping for things. I look for plants also to see what they have that's different. That's
pretty cool
like
right
an
there.
old toolbox of mine,
Mhm.
and we actually turned it into a planter holder.
That's cute. It's nice.
Something different, you know, doesn't have to be a fancy pot, but you can do a lot of different things with plants.
No.
And don't forget, you can also, when you plant plants, you get cute little things to put in by the plants. Like this, you get little a fancy little froggy guy and go in your planter. There's a lot of cute little things that you can add to them. You get little fancy little ladybugs. And these are plant stakes, and they'll help to hold the plants up to get them started. And then once the plant's established, it's just something pretty to have in there. And you got to get back in the right spot.
Please.
Okay, guys, anything else I can help you with?
I don't think there's any more questions. Do you guys have any more questions for Doug?
I'm sweating out here. It's hot.
It's a hot one today.
Doug,
Yeah. Always use high quality planting mixes, potting soils, Miracle Grow, anything with a lot of nutrients in it. That's something I learned the hard way. And don't be scared to fertilize too. Plants like fertilization. Like us eating food, they like their food too.
Brent, did you have a question, Brent?
which hardware place did you find all your plants?
Lowe's, Home Depot,
Yeah,
True Value Hardware.
a lot of locations, huh?
Yeah, because I shop for, things I've got to fix stuff all the time. So when I'm shopping for parts and pieces to fix things, I always check the garden section to see if there's something new.
Yeah, like the one they do for outdoors.
Yeah, I do outdoors and indoors.
Yeah, so it was like for both of that.
Yeah, and there's a few garden places that I go through, but I really like the hardware stores the best because I'm always in them. I'm there almost every day at a hardware store.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff they have in some locations.
Yeah, they have a lot at those locations.
A lot of stuff.
Lots.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Doug. Appreciate you taking some time to talk to us and go over some of the gardening skills you have and some knowledge. So appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like I said, if anybody wants help doing stuff and planting, I'm willing to help out whenever I can.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's pretty
thanks, Doug. This was so cool.
All right, you guys.